Let's start sculpting the shoes. The shoes are going to be a really interesting expose on how to use a new feature inside of ZBrush, and that's called the slice curve. So to do this, I'm going to just go into solo mode, and I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to isolate just one shoe. I'm going to delete the other one entirely because the workflow that we go on now doesn't really work well with symmetry. So I'm going to turn symmetry off, press Control Shift, drag out and select just one shoe. Go to the geometry subpalette and say delete hidden. Okay, so now that's completely gone. Whatever was there before is now no longer there. Control Shift, yada yada. Okay, let's turn the floor off as well. And one thing I'm going to do before anything else is just make this a nice smooth surface, because we're going to start to create groups and layers, and so some of that sculpting I did before will actually get in our way. What we want at this stage is something that is as clean of a mannequin basic shape as possible. No extra bells or whistles, because we're going to actually put those on right now, but we're going to put them on in a very specific way with a really nice robust workflow. So I don't want anything to kind of get in the way of that. But we do need the basic shape, you know, so I am beveling things, making sure that, you know, we're in a basic format. Yeah. Fine. Okay. Alright, smooth out the bottom, smooth out that front part. Alright, and I think we're ready. So let's bring in some reference, and this is a reference that I shot some time ago. Okay, brought that in. 3 images, a side, the other side, and then a 3/4 view, just for some perspective. And now I'm going to add these into Spotlight. So first, add to Spotlight, select the other image, add that to Spotlight, and add that to Spotlight. Get rid of Lightbox. I'm going to set my opacity all the way because I'm using these as reference, and let's tile along the side. Oops, we missed the other image. 3/4, add that in. Alright, there we go. Tile along the side, get rid of Lightbox. Z to get rid of the controller. Make sure you go into the brush palette, samples, turn spotlight projection off. Have to do that. So what we're going to do now is just adjust the shape to kind of fit what we've got for our reference. I've got some minor adjustments to do. I am going to turn perspective off. I don't really want perspective on in this case. So first things first. Yeah. Okay, pull that up a bit. And probably going to end up pulling this down quite a bit. And let's get this guy. Get the other side. And trim dynamic will set me up with the angle. Pull this out a bit. Alright, more of that mannequin, and I think I am almost set. Okay, and then check the inside. Okay, there we go. Oop, yep. Trim dynamic, I don't need that alpha. Good enough. Got a bit of a mannequin here, so now let me show you the crux of what we're going to begin to do. I know I waited 6 minutes to show this to you. Let's get rid of our side there. I'm going to make sure these are tiled. Hopefully give us some more room. Let's scroll the canvas over. There we go. Okay, so we're going to press Control-Shift, and we're going to select the Slice Curve brush. So Control and Shift are pressed, we go up to the brush palette, we click Slice Curve. Alright, Slice Curve works a very specific way. If I just press Control Shift, click and drag out a line, what it's doing is creating a new polygroup, but it's also creating clean topology, kind of like what mesh extraction does, but now as easy as a curve. So you press Control Shift, and you can see that's a really nice clean line. There's topology to support that line. So now I can go in and do a whole bunch of different things, draw out these shapes, and then the topology is going to be there for us to mess with it. So let's make sure that there's one polygroup. So I'm going to group visible and then begin. The first step, obviously, let's get the back, so the bottom part. So I'm pressing Control Shift, click. I'm going to press Alt to store a point. You just press it once. Alt to store another point. I'm going to now also let go of Shift so it's a little bit easier for me. Alt to store a point. Okay, Alt to store a point. Boom. Okay, and down. I'm going to press another point in there. It's going to be a hard line, but that'll help. And there you go. Alright. We got a little bit messed up right here in the corner. So let's see if I can work with that. Control Shift click. Yeah, the topology is not supporting it. So we're going to undo. And we need to draw that again. Okay, and that's fine. That's just the way this goes. So Control Shift, drag it out, press Alt, Alt, releasing Shift now, press Alt, down. Okay, this time I'm going to press Alt a little higher. There, I tapped Alt twice because I did want a hard edge and in. And there we go. Now we've got a nice little cut. Everything is clean and ready. Now we need to go in and do a couple of more adjustments. So I'm going to press Control Alt and let's just cut straight across. Like that. Might as well drag all the way. Control Shift, press Alt, and terminate it right there. That's not where I wanted to terminate it. So let's do actual and zoom in. It's getting a little hard to see in the front, so I'm going to go skin shade, and there we go. Pressing spacebar to move it, Alt to store a point, Alt to store another point, and there you go. Okay. Now it does cut the piece that we built before, but it's not a big problem, not the way that we're going to be doing this. So don't sweat that. Alright, now the next piece. So I'm just going to cut across and down. Okay, Shift Z and Control Shift, a little lower, and there we go. Okay, pretty straightforward. Get the piece at the back, Control Shift, tap Alt, not a fan. Control Shift, spacebar, move that. There. I like that. Okay, good enough. And now we need to get the tongue. So we need to make room in here for the tongue, and then the whatever forms are coming down from there. So that's why we needed that 3/4 view, which is at the bottom here. And we're going to be looking to drag our lines down, and then they end. And then we have another one that comes across. So how do we do that? Let's do it from a side view. That way we can get both. And I'm going to pull them out this way. So Control Shift, Alt tap, Alt tap, there you go. Okay, that creates the overall arc, and yes, this is not as nice as I would like it, but that's actually something I can move in the sculpting phase. So I'm not going to let something like that bug me right now. That's kind of irrelevant. It's just something I have to deal with. And then we need to cut it out. So I will cut it out from a top view. Control Shift, then I release Shift, spacebar to move, and okay, and then let's see, I haven't tried this one before. I'm going to Alt tap twice, Alt tap twice, and let's see what it looks like to just cut across. There you go. Alright, so we've still got all our other groups. I got to do one more cut. That's going to be where the tongue terminates, and there we go. Well, one more cut for that part anyways. It's too high. There we go. Yeah, that's better. And now we can also do diagonally. There you go.